Hello guys, it's Jasper here again from top10fragrances.com on a beautiful spring day. Actually, I think it's the first day of sunshine we've had this year because it's been awful here in Europe. But it's a stunning day outside, sun shining, the birds are singing. And today I want to talk to you about tobacco. Not about cigarettes or cigars or pipes or anything like that at all. But we're talking about Tobacco the Perfume by Odori. Which is this little number here. Comes in this really nice kind of 1960s looking checkered box. Quite cool actually. And inside this lovely box you have this beautiful perfume and also a little brochure or a prospectus on all the other perfumes in the lineup, Odori's lineup, which is quite interesting as well. But then the bottle itself, look at that, it's absolutely beautiful. It's very well made glass inside a handmade frame, and actually you get this little piece of cardboard at the bottom here which is part of the packaging, and the bottle seems to kind of suspend itself in the frame there. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Top is lovely as well, it's exquisite. It's made of really nice handcrafted soft leather with the Odori emblem on the top there, a bit like a Maserati gear stick. Beautiful, stunning. In actual fact, it probably wouldn't look out of place in the glove box of your Maserati or your Jaguar or your Aston Martin, this bottle of perfume. It's just stunning, sort of gentleman stuff, really. The only thing that I'm not quite sure about on the whole sort of design is the fact that the sort of etching on the front is not it's not particularly sharp. It's quite blurred. But whether that's designed to be like that, so it looks kind of old-fashioned, I don't know. But yeah, lovely bottle. Let's put this back over here. So let's just talk about the house very briefly. It was founded in 2006 by Enzo Gilardi, who was the chap who took over his grandfather's defunct business from the 1920s, Bois 1920. I always get tempted as a French speaker to say Bois, but it's not Bois, it's Italian, it's Bois, B-O-I-S, which would be pronounced Bois in French. But Bois 1920 is an Italian name for the company, and they went out of business in the 1920s, not soon after they started, but produced some beautiful perfumes in those days. Enzo took over the company, and he sort of stayed true to his grandfather's formulations and designs and sort of whole feel of their perfumes. So he decided to do a spin-off and to do his own thing as well as running his grandfather's old business, and he started Odori, which is a little bit more contemporary. Actually, I've probably mentioned to you on my blog about one of the Bond No. 9 perfumes, about their story and how they've taken olfactory notes from every part of New York. This is a kind of similar story really, not using New York, using Florence. This is a classic example of that. They're taking olfactory notes from different parts of the city and sort of backgrounds to the sort of things that go on in the city. And cigar or tobacco picking used to go on in Naples. There's a bit of a thing about tobacco and the way it smells, or the way the ladies' hands used to smell after they'd been picking the leaves. That's a really big influence on this particular perfume. And you can almost smell that sort of warm tobacco hand smell. It's lovely. It's really beautiful. So that's how the business started. The notes in this particular perfume are very cleverly balanced actually, and I think that's probably, this perfume is more about balance than a lot of perfumes. So you've got Sicilian bitter orange and Chinese eucalyptus in the opening, so they give you a kind of warmth but a freshness as well, which you wouldn't expect from a dark tobacco kind of scent. But that really works incredibly well. Heart, you have a real small touch of Egyptian jasmine. You can't even notice it. It probably adds that little bit of indolic nuance to the perfume, but you can't really smell it as a single note. And then you've got things like Somalian incense, Haitian vetiver, which add another touch of greenness along with the eucalyptus, and then Madagascan vanilla. So classic sort of stuff which kind of warm the perfume through. The base notes are really kind of warming. There's a lot of oak moss in this as well as tobacco leaves. So it smells incredible. Actually, when you first smell this perfume, it smells a little bit like a smell I used to get as a child when I used to open my old violin case. I was learning the violin at school, and I was never very good anyway, so I'm glad I gave it up. But the smell you used to get when you clicked it open, you get that sort of old woody, sort of resiny smell, and that's what this reminds me of initially. But you've got them fresh notes from the bitter orange and the eucalyptus, and the vetiver in the base actually, that kind of lift this perfume. It's not as cloying as a lot of tobacco style sort of perfumes are. I mean, you know, some of them are quite sort of in your face and very, very heady. This is not actually. It's very, very warm. In actual fact, I went to Cuba with my wife a few years ago now. We went and did a tour in Havana of a cigar factory. And this smells very much like the cigar factory smell. You know, the smell of people working, warmth, and tobacco leaves. And it was just a really warm, rich smell. And this is very much like that. The opening, as I said, is kind of bright and green, but with the balance of this perfume, it just sort of works so well. So it's always there, but it's softened by the base notes of this perfume. You know, the vanilla and the tobacco leaves just give a real warmth and a hue to it. If you're wearing this, I guarantee your partner will want to snuggle up to you. You know, it's a really warm, cosy, sort of comforting smell. Superb. It's perfect for something like a black tie-do, I would say. This is a unisex perfume by all accounts. I would say, as a guy, this is more leaning towards masculine, in my humble opinion. There are no rules when it comes to wearing perfumes, but I just think that I don't think it would be attractive, from my perspective, on a lady. I certainly wouldn't want my wife to wear it, but I think it's wonderful on a guy. It's kind of formal, where you need to be, a situation where you need to be a little bit more elegant and a bit more sort of sharp, then this would be a perfect perfume for that. It's just incredible. Signature scent, well, you know my thoughts on signature scents. I don't really do them, but I think this would be a little bit too overpowering for one. To wear all the time, it would be just a bit too much, I think. That's my personal opinion. Longevity is absolutely superb on this perfume. You know, you're talking about 10 hours. You'll smell this in the morning when you get up if you've been wearing it the night before. Sillage is a different story. It's quite a close perfume. It doesn't sort of throw itself too much. You know, you're talking a metre or two. But it's a real skin-on-skin scent. And if you're being cozied up to, you don't need to be far away from that person, do you? So, now, to get hold of this stuff, guys, it's quite difficult because there are rumours, and I've heard a little bit about this company not actually surviving. They're sort of struggling a little bit, which is a real shame, I think. But if you go to their website, for example, you'll only get a home page. There's no other pages on their website. You can't click on a button and move anywhere else on the website. It's just a home page and that's it. So it's very difficult to get this from the actual makers of the perfume. Lucky Scent do it, I think, for about $210, so it's quite expensive. And Parfums MDP offer this for €149, so that's incredible value for money. And talking of Parfums MDP, we've teamed up with them because we just thought it was a great way of offering people the perfumes that I've reviewed. So if they supply any of the perfumes that I do reviews on, and the ones I've done in the past as well, guys, so look back at the old videos, they will offer a small 5 milliliter decant in a little vapor or atomizer, which you can put in your handbag or your briefcase, and they're doing that on their website. So if you look at the bottom of this particular video, there is a link to their website. So go on there, and if it's a perfume that I've done a review on and they supply it, hey, you can get yourself a little sample of it. And I'll speak to you next week for our next review. Take care.